Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Allah Loves. The Prophet ﷺ was one day walking with Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, and there was a group of people in Medina that yelled out and they said, Assalamu alaikum, which means may death be upon you, instead of salam. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Wa alaikum, and upon you. And the reason why he said that ﷺ is because if they said salam and they said it really fast, then salam upon you. And if they said sam, which means the opposite of salam, then and it's upon you. But he kept himself composed ﷺ and calm. Aisha radiallahu anha was outraged by the fact that they spoke to the Prophet ﷺ that way. She said, don't you know what they said? Didn't you hear what they said to you, O Messenger of Allah? And the Prophet ﷺ told her to calm down, and he said to her, didn't you hear what I repeated? And then very beautifully he said that Allah is gentle and Allah loves gentleness in all things. A lot of times when you read the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, you read it to confirm an attribute that you have. The default of the Prophet ﷺ was that Allah loves gentleness in all of his affairs. And so if the Prophet ﷺ departed from that, it was for good reason. It was to send a very specific message in a specific context. But what does this mean? And how do you compare gentleness? Just as Allah is gentle and Allah is kind, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also has attributes that denote punishment, that denote a sense of anger, right? Depending on the context. That doesn't mean that Allah stops being Rahman and Rahim and Wadud and Ghafoor. That means that there are contexts that determine that type of response. And in this situation, the Prophet ﷺ is saying that the general default is gentleness in all of your affairs. Now, the way that we also understand this and understanding the Sunnah in a holistic way is that you don't have to be loud or aggressive or foul to denote strength. Rather, those things are actually signs of weakness. The Prophet ﷺ's composure in the face of the types of taunts and insults that he received in Mecca and Medina were actually portrayals of strength, that he wasn't going to allow his enemies to get in his head or to drive him away from his principles and his ethics. The Prophet ﷺ speaking in a calm manner, not raising his voice at people to win an argument, not cutting people off, not demonstrating aggression and power, even when the Prophet ﷺ was at the height of his power, was in fact a symbol of strength and a show of strength. So just like Allah Azza wa Jal, despite having all of the authority over all of his creation, yet still showing gentleness and kindness, we too show our greatest strength when we are in positions of power, but we opt for gentleness and kindness, not in a way that would cause injustice to be rampant, but in a way that stops us from becoming unjust or departing from our natural goodness and core. Allah is gentle and Allah loves gentleness in all things. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to place that attribute within us and to allow us to act upon it even when the devil tries to stoke our anger and to cause us to depart from it. Allahumma ameen.